James having another fat pizza, and I'm going to talk about Alice's Adventures in Wonderland, which is a ballet, which is awesome, and these other things. So, let's see here.
Wow, look at this bread.
Yeah.
I haven't eaten since about 7 o'clock this morning.
Yeah, we've been running around.
Wow.
So, I'll read my poem, which I just wrote now while I was waiting for James. It's called Our New Used Van. It's a sonnet of sorts. James bought a van today. It's quite a fancy van with seats that stow away. We're hoping that we can go coast to coast to coast while sleeping in its back. There's space so I won't toast my back with things I pack along like coolers full of water, food, and ice. This van will save the bull of moving things. That's nice. It sure will be a treat to camp and not feel beat.
Well, you know, I think technically we can go coast to coast to coast to coast, because I think you can take the, what is it, Dempster Highway all the way up to the Arc.
Well, I don't know that we will.
Well, we need a 4x4.
Not with this van. So,
not with this back.
Yeah, I don't.
Who knows what it's like going up there? That's for someone else to explore.
Anyway, we just have some plans for coast to coast to coast.
Maybe down to the Gulf of Mexico.
We'll see.
One of these days, years, months, whatever.
Anyway, that's the dream. Let's see, so this one is from 2011. I hadn't heard about it before, but this is incredible. So it's a ballet in 2 acts from the Royal Opera House, Royal Ballet.
From England, eh?
This is so awesome. Everyone involved with this did a great job, but honestly, I'd have a hard time picking who did the best job. I mean, you'd think, oh, well, the dancers did a great job, whatever, but honestly, I think the people who were in charge of the costumes and the
stage set.
They did some sort of electronic sort of stuff, like projection sort of images on the. That was really cool. And honestly, the best part of this, I think, like there were some cool kind of costume things, like the baby crying puppet and the. I did like the costumes of the dancing flamingos. That was great. And of course the Cheshire Cat. That was really awesome. It was just really well planned out. So I guess ultimately it comes down to who created this idea in their heads and then everybody involved helped it make that come to life, right? This is incredible what was done. My favorite part, though, even with all of the wonderful things in this, was how they decided the one scene where Alice is on stage and she's looking through the little door and she can't fit through, and where she's trying to get out into is where the audience is. So the audience, they made the audience become a part of this story by doing that, and they had the dancers coming up the aisles. So I've never seen anything like that before, where the audience is a part of the story. Really, it's incredible. They did such a great job. The music was great, the dancing was great, everything was great. This was great, all through, awesome. Maybe some people aren't into ballet, whatever. Maybe some people don't like some of the drag queen people like the. I would think that the Queen of Hearts was a drag queen, and there was another person there that was in drag. I can't remember, the one with the baby. Anyway, but I thought they were great. I thought everyone was great. It was awesome. So I can't imagine anybody not liking this. And honestly, like I was thinking, oh, this would have been so great to be in that audience with the people coming. But honestly, it's great to watch it on DVD. So I don't know. It probably would have been better to be in the audience and see the dancers come right beside you, and it'd be so shocking, right? You'd be like, this has never happened before. But it's still great to watch this way. So everyone should watch this.
Now, when you say
awesome.
everyone, are you talking of all ages? Because you
I
can
can't
see
see
Alice
why
in
not.
Wonderland appealing to kids. Right?
Yeah. I would have loved watching that when I was little. So
That was going to be my next question.
yeah, I would have loved
You
it.
answered it. There we go.
Knox Goes Away. So, Michael Keaton's in this, and well, there's some other people like, is that Al Pacino? Yeah, Al Pacino. And anyway, so this story is about a guy who, bit of a spoiler alert, but you figure this out very soon into the story. He has, he thinks he's going senile, but it turns out he has Creutzfeldt-Jakob disease, and it's really progressing quickly, and so he's losing things so fast. Like it's incredible to watch. They did a great job with this movie. I thought for sure this would be top of the stack, but then I watched that. And it's funny, because yesterday I was about to, I had this on my stack to watch, and I was thinking about it because I would like to watch it, right? And so I was thinking about it, and yesterday I was wearing a pink dress, and my neighbor said, "You look like you're right out of Wonderland." And I thought, well, that's funny, because I have this on the stack to review. It's just funny how things happen that way, hey?
That was a good dress.
So, anyway.
Pauline got 3 positive comments on that
I
dress
did,
yesterday.
yeah, that was nice. So, anyway, because, when you get to be my age, the compliments don't really come that often, but I guess the compliments came from 2 older women and from James. So,
But it was on the street. Like I remember I saw Pauline from probably at least 2 blocks away. I was going, wow. Yeah.
So yeah, this is an incredible story, and honestly, it's not something that everyone could watch. Like, it's about the character. He's a hitman. So there's some gruesome sort of things that you see in this. Not overly, it's Michael Keaton after all, right? I don't think he'd be in something that's overly gruesome, but it's certainly not something you'd want to sit down with the children and watch, right? But still.
Yeah. I think he started out as a stand-up comedian. Huh?
I think you're right.
Bit of a
Yeah, I think he was
transition.
good at that. So Professor T season 3, and this was great. I enjoyed how it started out and how it ended. The end of the season, you're like, oh, what's gonna happen, right? So, and anyway, it kind of started out that way too. You're thinking, oh dear, how can this happen to him? But anyway, there was one thing in this which kind of bothered me a little bit. There was a couple, an older couple, and they were, somebody thought, oh, is this your daughter or granddaughter or something like that? Daughter, I think they said. And they said, no, we can't have children, so we adopt, and that helps. That makes us feel better or whatever. We babysit. Not sorry. I think I said adopt, but that's not what I meant. We babysit, and that helps. And I thought, I don't think that would help anybody who couldn't have children. That would just be a constant reminder of the fact that they can't have children. And it would be like poking an open wound constantly. So I think whoever wrote that in had no idea what that's really like. So that's something to think about if you're writing something, and maybe ask somebody who doesn't have children if they would ever do that, because I could never now. I have a hard time even just seeing children, being around them. It really hurts. So
I don't think
anyway.
anyone would ever accuse a scriptwriter or playwright of being an acute observer of human nature.
Yeah.
Same sort of thing with a novelist.
So fitting in. This is a really interesting movie, and honestly,
The
for a
back cover
while
is
there,
kind of even interesting to me.
for a while there, I thought this was going to get top of the stack when I watched this, because it's a very interesting story. It's about a 16-year-old girl who's diagnosed with a reproductive condition. I don't know how to say this tactfully. I don't know if it's will bother anybody that I say this, but she has ovaries. She doesn't have a womb or fallopian tubes or a vagina. She's been born without any of that, and I guess that's a thing. I guess some people are born that way, and so the doctors are offering or suggesting that she could have surgery so that she could get a vagina made of sorts, or she has about an inch. It's like a little innie belly button there, so to work with, and they give her a set of, basically they're like medical dildos or something. So they start out small and get bigger, and they tell her, well, it's an amazing muscle, so if you work on it, you can get it. You might be able to get it within 18 months. You might have a vagina, and you just have to keep using it, and then it stays that size. So so she's going along with that and whatever, and I was just thinking, there should have been more people telling her, what? You don't have, that's awesome that you don't have to worry about that, right? That's honestly, why would you want to have the ability to have sex if it's not going to feel good? If it's, what's the point?
And she couldn't have kids, right?
Yeah, what's the point? You can have sex other ways. And honestly, if there would be all sorts of creepy men making other suggestions, but there are a lot of good ways, and honestly, I think she'd be better off. She'd be less likely to have to get STDs and stuff like that. So I think that was a bit of a shortcoming in here. Is there was one person who was telling her, I like you just the way you are, and I think that's great to have. There should be more people saying there's nothing wrong with you. If you're like, I can't believe that maybe I can believe that the medical community would be like that. They'd be like, yeah, let's make you like everyone else, or as much as we can.
And let's make money off of it.
But there's if you're born a certain way, there's nothing wrong with you. It's just the way that you're born. You're absolutely perfect the way you were born. You don't have to get something. You don't have to look like somebody else or act like somebody else or whatever. What's normal? Who cares?
Yeah.
So
one of the most shocking things I ever read was a book called Pygmy Kitabu or Kitabu, 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 whatever. It means book in Arabic. So a pygmy book. The writer was. So don't mix up this idea that he was denigrating with him or with a book. He was mentioning there's certain benighted souls that we're saying back then, hopefully they're not saying it anymore. Let's give pygmies human growth hormone. Because that would be just ducky or something like that.
Yeah.
So the author was saying that's awful. And he
Yeah,
was right.
there's nothing wrong with pygmies being smaller. They're supposed to be.
I think it's great.
They're born that way.
Yeah, I think it's just...
Anyway, Mrs. McCutcheon. This is, this DVD, even with, there's 3 stories in here. There's Bathroom Rules and Stronger Together bonuses on here. With all of these, this DVD is about half an hour long. It's not a very long DVD at all. The Mrs. McCutcheon was the longest one. I think that one was about 15 minutes, and the other 2 were 5 and whatever, you know. So, this is not very long, but, you know, they said all that they needed to say. I thought they were interesting enough, and I thought, like, 2 of the
check it.
films...
Someone stop back here. Okay, sorry, folks.
Okay. 2 of the films had... children telling the story, and for the most part, and they did a great job. So there's one about you know, a child who's trying to find the right bathroom for themselves because they're non-conforming to gender norms or whatever. So, and then the other story, the main one, Mrs. McCutcheon, is about a boy named Tom who likes to be called Mrs. McCutcheon, and he likes to wear a dress, and that's the way he feels comfortable. And there's another boy who thinks he's just perfect that way, and they're very happy together. So anyway, I thought these were delightful stories. The Stronger Together kind of creeped me out a little bit, but anyway, whatever. They're worth watching. Immaculate, that got bottom of the stack. This creeped me out so much. I found it disturbing. It's amazing to see what people will get away with. Putting down Christianity, really. This is in particular, this is Catholicism, because they're nuns and whatever. But anyway, in Italy, it's set in Italy, and so mostly, I should mention that there's a lot of mostly, like James said, it's all in it, either Italian or screaming, and yeah, that's basically it. It's a horror movie, so there's a lot of screaming, and you're going to have to read subtitles, a lot of subtitles, because the main character, she speaks English, and she's come over from the United States to Italy, and she takes her vows to be a nun and everything, and then she mysteriously ends up pregnant, and they're treating her like the Virgin Mary, and I don't know, it's creepy the way it's set out, because well, she's just a vessel, so she's not she hasn't been told what is happening to her, or whatever, what they had planned for her, so that's really creepy. But honestly, I can't see why this couldn't happen. In the story, spoiler alert, this church has one of the nails that was used to crucify Jesus, and it has DNA on it, and so they're trying to bring back Jesus.
do a Jurassic Park and
They
get
are
Jesus.
on Jesus.
Yeah.
And I could see people doing that, actually. And honestly, today, I can't see why it wouldn't work. What with CRISPR and, other developments.
I would love to see Jesus come back.
Sure.
There's so many Christians.
I'm all for it.
Jimmy Swaggart, Jesus would be going into their little temples and turning over, doing the equivalent of turning over the
But I don't
money
know
changes
if
tables.
I don't know if using the DNA from Jesus, the person, would bring back Jesus,
There's no guarantee.
the
Same
person.
personality.
Well, yeah, exactly. Because he would have the Spirit of God, and would the next Jesus that was brought back? Do you see what I'm saying? It just, I don't know. Anyway, so, but who knows? And I honestly don't have a problem with it. But I gotta, there'd be a lot of people a lot of women. I think a lot of women would volunteer. They'd be like, oh yes, I would gladly be the vessel. So this story is a little bit ridiculous. Why?
Well, Jesus would get killed again. That's the point. And
Yeah.
many Christians would be lining up to wipe him out.
Yeah. Anyway, so that's that. And James, you have 7 minutes and 24 seconds if you have something to talk about.
Yeah, sorry for cutting out there.
No,
It's
no,
just,
that's fine.
people are moving into.
Yeah,
Just
we were
blocking.
worried because they had their garage open with all their stuff in the garage, and we just, new people in the neighborhood, they don't know what the neighborhood's like, so we're worried that they don't know and they're going to leave their garage open. Well, they can't.
I think they're going to be moving another truckload in.
Yeah.
That looks like a truck moving in.
Yep.
I think they'd left it open for the truck to come in. Not a good strategy in this neighborhood.
No.
They're nice people, they just
They just might end up losing a lot of their stuff that way.
Well,
And why bother moving something if you...
that TV that was sitting there apparently is cracked, so it's going to be junked.
Oh, okay.
But there,
I didn't notice TV.
this is a high.
I just noticed the garage open going by, and then I went back to James needed me to figure out something with his new vehicle, and so I went back and did that, and then I came, and it was still open, and I was like, oh, James, you got to go talk to them. 'Cause I'm not very social, so I would not like to, but he would like to. He's
Maybe.
very social. He likes talking to me.
I don't know, like knocking on doors. I had to wash off my hand, wash potential COVID.
Well, sorry.
Yeah.
How's this pizza?
Well, it's disappearing pretty fast, so
Good.
it's not because it's out. The movers are pretty good. They're putting cones up at the end
Yeah,
of the
I
alley,
noticed
so
that.
that's
Very
so people
smart.
don't have to back out
Yes,
of the alley.
they're very good. Maybe we should pay attention to what movers there or something. Anyway, what were you going to talk about? Oh, you have to talk about Taylor Swift.
Okay.
Taylor Swift.
Because the thing's got to
It's gotta be back before it opens.
Tomorrow. Okay, folks.
And what was it? Taylor Swift?
Redemption, maybe.
Maybe.
And
That's
what was
I'm
the other one?
thinking.
You returned red, right? What was the other
Yeah, I don't remember.
So, folks, I don't care. We're talking about Alice in Wonderland being for every age. Theoretically, Taylor Swift is. This is addressed to people of every age. Don't bother.
Of every age, yeah.
Every age. Not worth it.
She's really not that good.
No, she's not a great singer. Like, you can assess her as a singer. You've sung. This stuff doesn't have great harmonies, as I can recall. Despite what some people think, and despite what you might be led to believe
Well,
by
her
most
songs
recent
aren't
title.
very. They don't really have melodies. Not very good.
And they've gotten
and-
worse as she's
and-
hip-hopized her stuff.
Her lyrics really aren't that good either.
Let's
and-
just be forthright and say bad. They don't tell you much of anything.
And
Except when she does potty mouth. And don't do potty mouth.
so honestly, just
All
look at
the
her
time.
album covers. That's all you want, or
Well,
look at her videos with the sound off.
or, you know, even the material that comes inside the album, because they always make sure they print the lyrics. But they'll be like 16-page booklets, and it averages about a picture a page. Yeah? So it's 16 pictures of Taylor Swift or something like that. Most people would find that quite an adorable prospect, right? I don't know. You know, people have done this before and better. Shania Twain wrote snappy kind of lyrics. You know,
Yeah.
like you, I think you kind of thought, oh, the reason why James likes Shania Twain is she's good looking.
I kind of did, yeah.
But you know now my reaction to Taylor Swift. I'm like, who
Well,
cares?
no, ever since I watched that concert of Shania Twain's, I don't remember what that one was called, but when we watched that, I was like, yeah, she did a good job. So
Not the greatest voice, and
well,
not the best
it was
moving on
good
stage
enough,
or whatever.
and
It's good
it
enough.
was all good enough, and
And she writes snappy lyrics.
I
and
would have liked to
catchy
go
kind of
to
tunes.
that concert that we watched,
Yeah.
and I'm not a fan, but
You don't
She
like
did
that
a good
type of
job.
music, is basically
Yeah.
what you're saying.
yeah.
I can put up with her singing country, and I kind of like her when she sings classic rock, which is kind of like modern day country. You know, it helped that she had whatever his name was, the guy who cheated on her and she dumped. Good job, Shania. Guy cheats on. I don't care how good looking you are. Guy cheats on you. He's not worth it. Put your boot print on his rear end and apply it as hard as you can. Get rid of him. Not worth it. And she sang it. It was like a warning song. You might have helped write the tune. If you're not in it for this, and this, and this, and this, what's the bottom line? I'm out of here. And she lived up to what she said. She wasn't just singing that for a fact. So yeah, thanks for, you know, I get to review that Taylor Swift stuff, and that puts it into context. I'm glad I thought of Shania Twain. Shania Twain generally writes, especially in the more upbeat stuff, a snappy little lyric. You know? Okay, so you think you're Brad Pitt? I don't know if you remember that one.
No, I don't.
It's hilarious.
Anyway, well, 1 minute.
So don't bother, especially buying this stuff, but don't even bother listening. You know, there's stuff. Get on your smartphone. If it has internet access, I'm sure they all do. Do some research. Like, really improve your mind. And then it's not enough knowledge. Come up with a discovery. Or 2 or 3. When I was a young pup, like 60 years of age, I wanted a discovery a day. That's not a piece of knowledge a day. A discovery a day. Make some discoveries. Help people out. Please. You'll feel better. That's all I gotta say.
It is, eh? All right.